Alright everyone, it's time to talk about a rather interesting website, link in the description, and actually people have brought it to my attention because I'm mentioned on it explicitly. And that's Transparencytube, and apparently what it is, it's an attempt by both manual reviewing and algorithmic like AI systems to sort of compile a list of larger channels involved in political discourse on YouTube, sort of rank them, give them the stats, and also to try to tag them. Now, the site is interesting on a bunch of different levels. First and foremost, it accurately labels me libertarian, because like I've been hack-pieced and called, you know, really fringe and stuff. Libertarian actually describes what I believe in, and also if you look at parts of it, especially in the partisan left, missing link media is actually one of the tags that they use. Now, apparently my channel was one of a few on this list of like 8,000 or so that was manually reviewed in the first place, and then they sicked the AI on the rest. So I was actually part of that rather small club of like 800 channels that was manually reviewed by people and categorized. And I was interested to see that under the libertarian tag, at least under the system they're using, I guess I'm the second biggest influencer among libertarians after the Rubin Report, who also gets labeled on the right. Now, they've labeled me on the right, but not partisan right. Semi-accurate, but it depends on what I'm talking about. Like if the big issues of the day were gay rights, women's right to choose, environmentalism to an extent, I'd probably be labeled left. That's the irony, is that what I talk about skews people's perception of what I believe in. The only consistency is libertarian. Honestly, anti-woke almost would fit me better than right-wing. Anti-SJW or whatever. It's pretty hilarious, actually. You should go and check it out. And it's funny to see, of course, Donald Trump is one of the biggest influencers on the internet. There's no question about that, number one, and it's not a surprise. Number two, Fox, actually under the mainstream media header, is the big hitter. That's interesting. It comports to what I've been repeatedly saying, which is they're not outside of the MSM. They cast themselves that way. It's like Geraldo Rivera earlier today used the term legacy media. Where are these terms possibly entering the human lexicon from? It's called propaganda. It's what happens when you understand occult memetics. But that being said, I agree generally with those labels. Again, with the cautionary thing that over time they should probably use the algorithm like each year. They should do a study actually on how people's views change, or at least the perception of their views change. Because again, if you went back through my older videos, you'd think that I was on the left, or part of the skeptic crowd, arguably. But because the issues of the day changed, and because the political parties and sort of political paradigm in general around 2015 starts shifting, it's not so much that I left the left behind, or what you could call broadly liberalism. It's more like they went out to lunch. They went out way into left field. It's funny to see how libertarianism is more influential than progressivism on YouTube. It's interesting that the right wing has so much more overall clout than the left. And also, one thing that they pointed out is that over the last year and a half, because of algorithmic shift, mainstream news has become much more powerful on YouTube, and YouTubers themselves now form a minority of views on YouTube for political content. It's an attempt to sanitize the platforms. This is why alt-tech is a thing. Because if creators can't make their way on YouTube, then you end up, like on BitChute, I got 104,000 people following me. And that's the other thing. The only limitation of this study, really, I suppose, is that it limits itself just to YouTube. What it should be doing is it should compile as well. If they wanted to be more ambitious, they should compile data from other sources. BitChute at this point would be one of them. I would argue, of course, Twitter to an extent. Some of the social media networks. I think so many people have been kicked off Facebook or deleted it at this point. That's probably not a thing, but Instagram maybe. Instagram influencers. Look at my cat pictures. 10 million fans. My cat made me a 6-figure salary. It seems to be the lifestyles of the rich and vapid. I'm surprised Hunter Biden doesn't do that. Considering his photography skills, it might not work, but, you know, he could get a refresher course on there, and probably he'd have a Tumblr if they still allowed porn and weird shit on it. He'd be the most popular user, probably. But, yeah, you should definitely check the site out. And I mean, again, if they're using the term missing link media for groups like Vice and Vox, I would like to know if they found the term out from anywhere else, other than maybe from watching my material, because it was manually reviewed. Maybe it just stuck in their head. Or maybe somebody else said it and they heard it from them. I don't know. I might not be the originator of the term, but I hadn't heard it before I used it. Linguistics is fascinating. And definitely the sort of nexus of creators that they've created here, especially with a multiple tagging system, I think is formidable. And you can go through there and just like look around is interesting because, again, to know that as far as overall reach, I'm second only to the Rubin Report and the libertarian nexus of content creation. I'm pretty happy with that. So apparently I have to compete harder with the Rubin Report. I have to drag him into a debate or something. Nah, I like the channel. That's about all. Peace out.